My goal for the 2023 Electronic Theater Pre-Show was to do something that was fun and interactive and scientific. So my background is in scientific data visualization, and that is a field that's a little bit underrepresented at SIGGRAPH. So I really wanted to take this opportunity, being chair, to use the pre-show as a way to introduce or reintroduce SIGGRAPH to the field of scientific visualization and let them know that it can really be something that's fun and exciting. As people were filing into the auditorium to take their seats, we wanted to bring to their attention the fact that there were cameras pointing at them and recording them, and to let them know that, as they were moving through the room, that was driving graphics on the screen. But we didn't just want to make an announcement about it, and we didn't want to do an extended tutorial. We just wanted them to explore and figure this out intuitively. So we designed a walk-in experience that kind of just happened a little bit in the background, but allowed people to engage with and explore.
We thought, why don't we put cool visuals up on the screen, sort of like a artistic experience, an interactive artistic experience that's running on the screen, capturing the audience's motion as they're walking into the room. We looked at a lot of different types of ways of doing that. All different computer vision algorithms we tried, like pose estimation and optical flow, and there were some advanced pose estimation algorithms that we tried, but optical flow is what we ended up going with. We knew that Touch Designer had a really good optical flow algorithm in it, and if we used that, we wouldn't have to do any custom coding, and plus Touch Designer would give us all of the extra stuff that we need to build like a user interface and cool graphics. They sent us projects that we could use on the screen. It was David Braun and Simon Alexander Adams, who also goes by Polyhop, as well as Jarrett Smith. Jarrett Smith was on site, and he helped us get this thing going and get it all put together and get it tuned and get the frame rate up. So yeah, working with Touch Designer was just, it turned out really great.
My favorite moment was definitely initially testing it out the first day with everyone that I've been working with virtually. I also really appreciated the time I spent with the student volunteers and teaching them, and I think that made it just more fun and had more energy.
Welcome everyone to the 50th SIGGRAPH's Electronic Theater.
Hi, I'm Dawn Fidrick. I'm the Electronic Theater Pre-Show Lead for SIGGRAPH's 2023 conference.
I'll be your host for the pre-show tonight. I want to give you a little prequel of the main presentation, which is the Computer Animation Festival's Electronic Theater. The Electronic Theater is a short film qualifier for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Therefore, tonight is the pinnacle of animation excellence, and we couldn't be more happy to share it with all of you. Before we do that, I'd like to take you on an interactive journey. You'll be using your arms to vote for a destination that we go in the universe, and we'll do a little warm-up exercise to show you how to do that.
The concept for the Electronic Theater Pre-Show developed over the course of our planning. It began as a big idea, and we had to narrow that down based on the amount of resources that we had for scope and scale. So originally it was conceived as a completely immersive experience, turning the room into a planetarium. And we realized with our budget and resources that vision was not something we could realize in the time and with the money that we had. So we pulled the scope back into an immersive experience that included more stage lighting, 5 large format screens, and held about 2,500 people in the space.
We'll be using the computer vision, the optical flow algorithm, to be specific, that is run through Derivatives Touch Designer. That's what you've been witnessing. And you'll use your bodies to do this. All right, awesome. If I could get everyone to go left in a circular motion and keep it moving. Oh my God, this looks amazing from here. Keep going left and go right. And go right, everybody go right.
This warm-up portion of the pre-show was really meant to teach the audience how they would interact, but then also in the back end to have our technical team be able to test for the very first time this volume of people, you know, how it would work with that many people waving their hands all at the same time, and how everything that was working or not working. So that was like this critical moment when that warm-up exercise started.
One of the biggest challenges was not really having a way to test whether this all would work. So we were an entirely remote team spread out all across North America, but we were designing an experience that was going to happen at the Los Angeles Convention Center in West Hall B, yet we didn't have access to that space. Also, the lighting conditions of West Hall B were unknown. We were considering getting infrared cameras so that we could see in the dark. We just had no idea. There were so many unknown variables. And then, of course, once we did get on site, you know, there's always lots of unexpected challenges that come up. Things aren't quite laid out the way that you thought they would be. You know, some equipment was missing. There was a lot of last-minute scrambling, and really up until the moment that it worked, we had no idea whether or not it would work.
I'm gonna need some experts to help me fly through the universe. Please welcome Carter Emmart.
Thank you, Dawn, and thank you all. This is a great honor to be here.
We're going to need a pilot, and none other than Alex Bach. Dr. Alex Bach is backstage. He is the assistant professor in immersive visualization at Linköping University and the lead developer of OpenSpace.
So OpenSpace is a NASA-supported interactive it's a data visualization of the entire universe that we've charted. So it's accurate in its maps that it puts together. And it also brings us down from planetary surface detail all the way out to the charted microwave backgrounds.
Alex Kekesi, one of my subcommittee members, was the one that suggested that we work with OpenSpace. We worked so closely with them to craft that story and that experience and the decision points where there would be, you know, audience interaction to figure out where to go next. And they were just so great to work with.
As part of the NASA Scientific Visualization Studio, we've worked collaboratively with the American Museum of Natural History in New York, where over the years I've gotten to know Carter and his team with OpenSpace, and we knew that they could do a really good job of creating a live presentation that could be part of the interactive experience. They've done it before, and I knew that they could pull it off for SIGGRAPH, so that's why we chose them.
Tell us where we're going to start.
We're starting right here above the convention center where we all are, and we're looking north to the San Gabriel Mountains. And Alex, can you take us directly up? Let's engage. So off we go. And as we come up, we can see Edwards Air Force Base, and then beyond that, we're seeing the Basin and Range of Nevada, and we can see how thin the atmosphere is. It's only about 20 miles or 30 kilometers thick. And we're now parked about 25,000 kilometers away from Earth. The last time we were there was just over 50 years ago, just before SIGGRAPH, with humans in the cockpit of Apollo 17.
And so we're preparing for our first vote. That is where you guys all come in. You can choose to go to the moon, or you can choose to go to Mars. If you'd like to visit the moon, go ahead and use that circular motion to your left and keep it moving. If you'd like to go to Mars, keep the circular motion going to Mars. And we'll see where we're gonna go. You've got a couple times. Whoa, Mars is taking it.
Whoa.
Oh. Yes, clear winner, Mars.
So we're going off to Mars. Mars is 170 times the distance of the moon, even at its closest approach, about 35 million miles when we actually are on the same side of the sun. We're coming up on Mars. It's about half the size of Earth. It has a very tenuous atmosphere. It's red in color, but don't let that fool you. It's actually a rust color. It makes Antarctica seem like a Florida vacation insofar as temperature. The atmosphere is at its thickest on the surface is equivalent to about 100,000 feet above Earth. And we're coming into the Valles Marineris, a canyon that would stretch from New York to Los Angeles. Also has the largest volcanoes in the solar system, creating sulfurous deposits, as we see at the base of this portion of the Valles Marineris called Candor Chasma. And we're coming up on these layered deposits, and we can see that they've been worked on by winds for billions of years coming off the edge of the Valles Marineris, which is about 20,000 feet tall here. And so for scale, as we come into this high resolution data, this is from the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's HiRISE camera, and they've done photogrammetry, multiple images. We can see hills that are on the order of maybe tall buildings. Alex, can you actually add a nice little scale object for us? So we're going to bring in, sorry, no teapot. We were hoping to stick a teapot on top of the Eiffel Tower, but the Eiffel Tower is about 1,000 feet tall, or 300 meters. And so we wanted to add a little romance here, imported from France here.
So let's go out further into the solar system.
So across the solar system, we have the outer four planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And those are gas giants. So these are very large planets, mostly composed of atmosphere. But they also have very interesting moons. Each one is like a small solar system in and of itself.
So we're going to have another vote and choose if we'd like to go to the moons of Jupiter or the moons of Saturn. Saturn is going to be to your left, and Jupiter, the moons of Jupiter, to your right. Keep it going. Oh, it's just so...
Oh. Really?
It looks like you're going both directions.
Great.
Clearly the moons of Saturn.
Oh, Saturn.
Rings of Saturn are hard to pass up.
Saturn actually has 145 moons. We're going to go to the largest one. This is Titan. And let's come up to the North Pole, where we have lakes of liquid ethane and methane. The atmosphere is thicker than Earth, and with the gravity, low gravity, it's actually larger than the planet Mercury, but bigger than our moon.
Well, let's go further out into the solar system. What other things might we find?
We'll look at the entire solar system together. And when we're starting to now look at the stars beyond. At some point here, Alex, if we fade away the constellation lines, we'll just see our destinations out in space. And you might ask, how far away are we if the nearest star is only 4 light years away? We'd like to bring on a metric, what we call the radiosphere. And the radiosphere shows how far radio signals have reached since the Earth became radio bright, just before or around the time of World War II. So the radius of this sphere is about 80 light years.
We're far enough away out here for another vote. There's 2 places we can go. The range of exoplanets, which I think there's been lots of talk and knowledge there. Or we can go to the entire Milky Way galaxy. So let's do one more vote. This is our last vote of the night. Be passionate about where you're going. You look amazing.
Ooh, wow, this is a good one.
Oh,
This election's gonna be tied.
close.
Wow,
We're getting the hang of it.
that was really close.
Third one's a charm.
I think a lot of us had one idea of how the voting was going to work because we had kind of tested the optical flow algorithms on Zoom, on our webcams, but I think to see the entire audience of people doing it was a totally different experience, and people were almost like falling out of their chairs, and it was just completely different, I think, than we were expecting.
Okay, we're going to now leave our little place in the galaxy and take a broader view. Just like the Earth goes around the sun, we go the sun, makes an orbit around our galaxy takes 250 million years. Since the Earth and Sun were formed about 5 billion years ago, we've been around about 20 times. And just a quarter turn back is when an asteroid hit us and knocked out the dinosaurs.
What else might be out there beyond the Milky Way galaxy?
Well, we'll put the gas pedal on, and Alex, let's take us out now. And from our galaxy, surrounding us are some small galaxies that are our companions, large and small Magellanic Clouds, and beyond, we're into this realm of galaxies. And this is Tully's map of some 30,000 galaxies, 300 billion stars strong. In this map that we see is lumpy. The color coding has to do with sort of density and locations. So we're seeing in a broader and broader view, we're fading up now the Sloan Digital Sky Survey. This reaches out billions of light years. It's incomplete based on some observational biases, one of which is that the Milky Way sort of blocks our view of what's beyond. And if we back out completely, we'll see this horizon in time, essentially, framing our view. The universe, from what we know, this is just our own perspective. The universe could be infinite. We don't know that yet.
Infinite is a mind-bending thing to think about, and it brings us to the time that we have tonight to share with you for this pre-show. And this is where we hand it off to you for 50 more years of innovation. Thank you, Carter and Alex, for flying us around. And I'd like to introduce a star herself, our director of the Electronic Theater, Kalina Burkovich.
Before we get started with the main program, I'd like to say a few thank yous. A giant thank you to our pre-show sponsors, OpenSpace and Derivative. We're the ones that provided the software and created the graphics for the pre-show that you just saw, and the hardware has come from Dell. So big thank you to all of those sponsors. Now, members of the jury will announce the award winners for the 2023 Electronic Theater.
Now the Best Student Project Award goes to Swing to the Moon.
Thank you so much. A year ago when we were working on this movie, we would never have imagined to be here today at the SIGGRAPH in Los Angeles receiving this. It's absolutely incredible. And a big hug to our colleagues who can come tonight, Mary, Adriana, and Chloe. And also a big thank you to our school, our families, our professors, and our classmates who helped us and supported us through this whole movie making. Thank you.
The next award is the Jury's Choice Award, and this year, there was actually a tie for this award.
One of this year's Jury's Choice Awards goes to Overwatch Kiriko.
On behalf of Blizzard Animation, I just want to thank the SIGGRAPH jury. I want to thank all of the Overwatch fans that are out there, and we really appreciate all the love that we've received once we release this show. So thank you very much.
So the honor goes to Voice in the Hollow.
Thanks, everybody. First of all, thanks to SIGGRAPH for this great honor. Thanks to our crew all over the world and our cast in Africa. And what else? Alex Alvarez and Noman, who this would not be possible without, and Epic Games and their fellowship program, which kicked us off in this crazy journey in Unreal. So thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks all the other nominees. Thank you.
And the last jury selected award for Best in Show goes to La Diplomatée de l'Éclipse.
Hi, I'm César, one of the directors of La Diplomatie de l'Éclipse, along with Axel, Selim, Clémence and Achille. The film is about remembering to see the beauty of the world and enjoying the cool part of life. And I want to reassure you, unlike our main character, we won't forget to enjoy this Best in Show award. With this prize at SIGGRAPH, we truly are over the moon and would like to thank you all. And I hope you'll also enjoy the rest of the festival as well. Bye.